Maybe someday she will come along. 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 Sitting here with my arms around my music, thinking of a girl that I might spend the whole of my days with. Maybe someday she will come along. 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 Until then, I will do the best that I can. Any fine young girl that I might meet that I could use, keep my eye on. Maybe someday she will come along. Maybe someday she will come along. Oh, maybe someday she will come along. Maybe someday she will come along. Mother tried the very best that she could do. That was no good, the one she chose did not like the way her teeth grew. Maybe someday she will come along. 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 One fine day I took a walk down by the river. Fair maid did lie and she did sigh as I stooped down to kiss her. Maybe someday she will come along. Oh, maybe someday she will come along. Maybe someday she will come along. Maybe someday she will come along.
Incredible string band. Frank, your dance was fine until you hit the microphone stand.
Sorry, couldn't contain myself.
The Incredible String Band. Maybe someday, from the seminal self-titled album, originally released in 1966. Welcome to the Garden Sessions. Gardensessions.co.uk. Contact us at podcast@gardensessions.co.uk. We're also available at 98.8 in the Edinburgh area, Leith FM, where Leith lives. I'm Jack Foster, and joining me as ever are Scotland's answer to Ken Nicol and Phil the Wid's Widows. I'm talking, of course, of Frank Burkitt and Dave the Angles Gimble.
Well, thank you, Jack.
Who's who?
I don't really mind. I'll be Mr. Nicol.
Really? You're in Steel Eye Span?
Yes.
And I'm a folk podcast radio DJ chap.
I think Dave really wanted to be in Steel Eye Span.
I wanted to be in Steel Eye Span.
But Dave, we're listening to the Garden Sessions,
I was
not any other podcasts.
I was carrying on like a jester as Jack was doing his introductions there. I apologise to the listeners.
That was ridiculous. Frank, what's on the show today?
Well,
Quickly.
we've got the download chart, we've got the news as always, we've also got another feature from Tom's Folk Odyssey and a very controversial letters bag.
They come round once in a while.
They do, but it's good to get some healthy debate on the Garden Sessions forum.
As well as, of course, all the best new songwriting and traditional folk music.
Exactly, of course. Well, that's the tagline of the whole project, Jack.
In many ways, and also in...
It's what we do, it's our forte.
Fact. Dave, give us a hint for the angle.
The demon drink is involved.
The demon drink.
The
demon drink.
The demon drink.
Oh, okay.
Slightly bigger clue.
It's Red Bull, I think, maybe.
Is this you exposing your prudishness for another angle?
No.
Okay. Well,
concise as ever. Thanks, Dave.
We had a lot of fun with that one.
We did.
So that's what's coming up in the show. It's very exciting.
I can't wait actually to hear the next feature of Tom's Folk Odyssey. We do understand that he did feel quite bad about a little bit of stick that we gave him. But yeah, it was all in the spirit of... Yeah. There's got to be comedy in the Folk Odyssey.
Indeed. And it was windy outside a caravan.
It was.
And I'm glad.
Jack, don't go there.
Don't go there.
That's all to come later.
Yes. Frank, what is the next tune?
The next tune, I'm looking forward to this one. This is a man who regularly darkens the door of the Royal Oak. It's Roscoe Galloway.
Darkens.
Yeah, Roscoe Galloway, The Willow Tree.
Oh, my lady laid me down, gave herself to me. I walked to the stream in the middle of the town, and I walked to a willow tree. Carved a name and a love heart there as the sun was on the rise. Take me back to my hands in her hair, her face and chestnut eyes. She's a darling, she's a flower, the match you'll never see. For my queen in her hall, so pretty in the fall, swaying like a willow tree. Hey, well, it makes no sense to build a fence, a border round the heart. Poachers roam these parts, my dear, and they're practiced in the art of making meals of bonny things. They talk in subtle tones, picking through the pearls and rings, picking o'er your bones. Lucky for you, I know their ways, lucky I have no fear. I was a poacher too in my younger day, till I saw the morning clear. And in that morning sun I touched a second's worth of joy, and a road of perfect love enshrined around the girl and boy. Hey, oh, my lady, wear your crown, dance a jig for me. Dance a helter, dance a skelter, all around the willow tree. And when you can't dance no more, I'll carry you in time to where the mountain meets the shore, a place no one calls mine. I see you in a garden there, a woman and a child, laughter in the air and a flower in your hair, and you're growing like the willow wild. Lady's running now, fast as she can flee. She doesn't ken what she's running from, far from the willow tree. Scoop her up in a cotton shawl, draw her in tight to me. Take her fears, a one and all, and drown them in the sea. Build your care in a stick and stone, and tone your ancient lay. Where's your God when you need him most? He's fickle and he's fey. Well, I don't need luck or faith or hope, since an angel came to me. I just need one branch with a space for a nest, and she in the willow tree.
From a featured artist, Roscoe Galloway, with the Willow Tree. And you can hear more from Roscoe every Thursday night at Edinburgh's Grand Ole Opry Folk, the Royal Oak, as well as at myspace.com/Roscoe Galloway. And of course at gardensessions.co.uk, where you can hear so much free music. And it's all charted in the download chart, which is coming up later on.
And hopefully after that, Roscoe will be in the download chart as well.
I think I'll still be at number one,
Indeed.
boys.
I hope not.
Oh, yeah, you were at number one.
I love seeing the disappointment on your face when you slip out of number one.
Yeah, I know.
I don't know, it always seems a bit conflict of interest.
I've threatened to resign on several occasions.
We've told him there's no cheating in the chart.
No,
we can't help him to that glorious position.
That's a fair shout.
It is a fair shout.
Dave, tell us about the next tune that we're going to hear. And when I say tune, I mean tune, because it's tune time.
It is indeed. The first of two. Unfortunately, no featured artists this time round, but it does mean we can pack in more songs and an extra tune.
Tunesters, you are being treated this week.
That they are.
The first tune is from Callum Stewart, with loads of lovely guest people, including Lauren McCall on fiddle, and it's called Roslyn Castle.
Callum Stewart from his debut album Earlywood. That's Rosalind Castle featuring Andy May on piano and Lauren McCall on fiddle. Fantastic stuff.
It's nice.
And the first of 2 tune times in this show.
That's good.
Indeed.
Yeah. Can I just remind you to listen to the Garden Sessions? Gardensessions.co.uk. Contact us where, Dave?
You can get a hold of us at podcast@gardensessions.co.uk, or you can go to the feedback form on the website.
And if you do get a hold of us at podcasts@gardensessions.co.uk, it may end up in the letters bag.
Indeed.
And we've got one of them coming up later, and it's a controversial
Your
one.
name will be read on radio.
Oh, yes.
Wow.
And other good things too.
Frank.
Well, it's time. It's news. It's folk.
What is it, Frank?
It's the folky news. And the folky news brought to you this week, as ever, in association with Paddy Bort's Wee Folk Club.
Well, every Sunday night at the Oak, we've got the Wee Folk Club at 8:30. An intimate venue, 30 seats, acoustic. It's a great night out. We've got fantastic musicians and singers. Every Sunday night, do come along.
It is a great night out. And Sunday the 8th of June at the Wee Folk Club, it's Dave Keir, acoustic fingerstyle guitar player and singer-songwriter from Glasgow. More info, royal-oak-folk.com. Top story this week. Edinburgh Folk Club held its annual songwriting competition last week, and as ever saw a packed house eager to hear the latest offerings from the Edinburgh songwriting circuit. John Haldane's Fields of France, performed by Leslie Hale, took the top prize, and Chris Silver spoke with John after the event and asked him about the inspiration behind the song.
Well, first of all, this was a news programme on television that got me thinking that not only there was hundreds of men in similar positions who were shot for no reason, just to put backbone into the men. That was what they said it was for.
As I believe Leslie said during when she played the song, do you feel it's still relevant?
The sentiments are, while not as blatant, are similar to what's going on just now, because men are serving and not getting treated as they should.
Silver also caught up with John Barrow, who, on top of his work with the Stonyport Agency, Edinburgh Festival's Acoustic Music Centre and various other folky ventures, was one of the judges at this year's competition. He asked him how easy the final decision was to make.
We thought and think that the first song, the one about the First World War, was a clear winner, and there was some discussion about the other ones, which means that you had 5 or 6 maybe to argue about for the second and third place, which shows that, as I say, the quality of the songs. Although there's 25 songs in, it was a long night, and they couldn't all, of course, be up to quality. That's kind of inevitable, I suppose, in such a bag of songs. But yes, there was at least 5 or 6 songs that we were talking about in the second and third places, and of course the audience themselves chose 3 totally different songs as well. So there was our 3 songs and 3 totally different, so there was 6 songs that were felt to be of a sufficient quality to get at least a mention, if not better, so it was good.
Events like this, how do you think they demonstrate the idea that everyone potentially has a song in them?
I think everybody's got a story to tell. We've all got families and histories and baggage to bring through. After that, it depends what you do with it, and if you want to stand up and be counted. Yes, everybody has got a song to sing. It's a matter after that of them deciding on, are they brave enough to stand up in front of an audience? And that's another story again.
Bob Knight's Twa Hearts Entwined. Oh, can I just say, actually, I've taken to holding a pen in this week's Folky News. Makes me feel just like Hugh from News at 10. I'm really enjoying the pen. Bob Knight's Twa Hearts Entwined and Hugh Hoffman's DIY song took second and third place, whilst the audience made their traditional diversion from the judging panel, picking Anne Renshaw's The Slender Tree as their favourite song of the evening. Unfortunately, due to technical difficulties, probably Silver's beard being too long, we were unable to bring you any music from the event. But Silver assured us that the selection was up to the usual standards. But no offence, Silver, thanks a lot for doing that for us. More info at edinburghfolkclub.org.uk. I've actually taken on some of Hugh from News at 10's personality as well, I think. The second story tonight. Inverness is set to host the regional final of a prestigious new European singing competition, which will attract an internet audience from around the world, a bit like Garden Sessions, you might say. Nos Ur, meaning new style in Gaelic, is a Gaelic and Scots language competition based on the Eurovision Song Contest format.
Sorry, Frank, what?
Based on the what?
Based on the Eurovision Song Contest format.
Oh, well, it's bound to be good.
Have they got Wogan?
They don't have Wogan and less sequins, but there's less bunting up. And
so what we're saying is,
camp Russian ice skaters.
If there's no Wogan, then there's no
There's Eurovision.
nothing.
It's not Eurovision Song Contest, Jack. It's just in the format, so they'll be judging from the audience.
Well, it's a cracking format. It's never gone wrong before.
Tell us more about it.
I'll tell you more about it. Let me. The competition will also feature a performance by leading Scots singer Corinne Polwart. She'll be there in her role as a guest presenter. 2 winners selected from the international field of entrants will go on to represent the Celtic and Scots languages at a grand European final. That'll be more like the European contest.
Yeah, well, I suppose,
The Eurovision. And that will be... it's called, Liet Lavlat in Sweden this October. That's... hopefully the pronunciation of that. The Inverness final takes place at Eden Court Saturday the 21st of June, and we'll see finalists who speak a variety of minority languages performing in Gaelic, Scots, Irish, Welsh and Breton. 2 winners will be selected, one by jury and the other by the public. The audience will be able to take part in the voting, picking their favourite by ballot. Organisers are expecting audiences from around the world to listen in via the internet and also vote. It will go out on www.nos-ur.eu and it will go out at 7:30 p.m. That's GMT, folks. Keep up to date with all the latest folky news at gardensessions.co.uk/news. That's the folky news. Fill my pipe with the jingle shag.
The official Garden Sessions download chart. The official Garden Sessions download chart.
Go, Dave.
This is the official Garden Sessions download chart based on free downloads from gardensessions.co.uk. At 10, it's a re-entry for the Lucy Pringle Trio with the King's Shilling. At 9, another re-entry and rearing her ugly head once more, Sinead Connolly with Inner Sheer.
Dave!
At 8, another re-entry, it's John Dignan with Diamonds. And at 7, another re-entry, the Paul McKenna Band with Lonely Man.
It's a very long clip, Jack.
It was a good clip.
Half the song.
It was a good clip. At 6, it's down 1 for the Paul McKenna Band again with Take My Hand.
Ooh.
At
falling,
5,
slipping.
At 5,
sliding.
down 2, sliding also. The Arrows, Black is the Colour.
Ooh.
At 4, down 2 again.
Sliding.
Andy Chung, The Penny Falls.
Oh.
Are we coming to strike some piece of luck, playing on the penny falls? For the now is turned back to dust, here it is, that's all. Pockets full of jingling change, playing on the penny falls. Long summer days to waste away till the autumn falls.
Probably the most familiar sound on the Garden Sessions.
Most played song.
More than the jingle, probably.
Worthy so. Up 1 at 3, and proving that like a hydra, if you chop one head off, another will grow back in its place.
Dave, do you sit and think about these?
No, I don't, I promise.
No,
it's got a notebook. Pop into my head when I
spends a
compile the
fortnight
chart.
just making note that'll be good, yes.
Yeah,
anyway,
throw that one in this week.
At 3, it's Sinead Connolly and Eileen Og. At 2, up 4, Scott Gardner with Breamy's Bonnie Doster.
So unless number 1 is a new entry and I've been pushed entirely out the chart, I'm there.
Then that means...
Am I there, Dave?
That the massive conflict of interest continues.
The official Garden Sessions number 1 is Frank Burkitt.
Booyah.
It's a bit sad to have a presenter at number 1. True.
But it's a good tune.
In the lowlands of the east there lived a boy who was coming of age. He spent his days in his father's field learning the farming trade. He asked one day, Father, why must I tend the corn? His father said, that's the way it's been for all the sons newborn. And at that point the boy looked down and he saw the mud on his shoes. And he felt a pain that for the rest of his days he'd be labouring away his blues. He knew there was a world beyond his father's golden land, and he swore he'd be the first of the sons to rest his working hand. The boy boy stood firm and he said to his father, I must not leave this world, having only seen the 2 cornfields that made our family's worth. And then his father said, let me tell you what my father told me. Make friends with the land, my boy, and you shall truly be free. And at that point the boy looked down and he saw the mud on his shoes, and he felt a pain that for the rest of his days he'd be labouring away his blues. He knew there was a world beyond his father's golden land, and he swore he'd be the first of the sons to rest his working hand. Despite the wise words of his father ringing out loud and clear, the whisper of the dusty trail was louder in his ear. So as he turned to shake his father's earth-stained hands, he said farewell to the endless hours of working the land. And the days went by and the boy forgot the sight and the mud on his shoes, and he lived a life so rich and full he thought he was rid of those blues. He knew there was a world beyond his father's golden land, and he swore he'd be the first of the sons to rest his working hand. Come back, his mother cried, your father can't remain the keeper of the land, my boy, for he has succumbed to pain. No longer can his old limbs push the plough. We are praying every day that you will be homeward bound. And at that point the boy looked up and he knew that he must return. Thought to lose in the land that his father made his stomach churn. He'd had his fill of the world beyond his father's golden lands, but now he knew he must return to use his working hand. Many suns have set since his father's passing day, and now the boy finds a son of his own, desperate to say, Father, I must leave the land and let my soul be free. I'm afraid, son, what you see before you is your destiny. And at that point the boy looked down and he saw the mud on his shoes, and he felt a pain that for the rest of his days he'd be labouring away his blues. He knew there was a world beyond his father's golden land, and he swore he'd be the first of the sons to rest his working hands.
Frank Burkitt, Working Hands, from the new album by Frank Burkitt.
It's like my little harmonic at the end there. It's quite nice.
Shut up.
Chris Stone on fiddle.
I'm just lapping it up. I haven't been number one in ages.
Yes, it's very good, Frank. It's very good. And you get it on the website, obviously, because it's the number one. Impeccable taste, listeners, as always. Dave, give us a hint.
Okay.
Give us a hint. You've said it's about the demon drink.
Yeah. It's about the demon drink, and a man reforms his life.
Boy, so you've given it away. There's not really any point now. We know what's going to happen, Dave.
We just
find another angle.
Now,
and whilst you do that, Frank, what's still to come?
Still to come is the angle once Dave gets back from the library. Also, the letters bag and Tom's Folk Odyssey, a nice little feature from that.
Indeed.
Which I'm looking forward to.
And more music, and there's still another tune time in the bag.
Lucky us.
But we'll turn back to Dave now. He hasn't left his seat. We're going with the same one. What is it?
Producer, though, just go with the same one.
It's Boys of the Loch and Farewell to Whiskey.
Oh.
Oh, Johnny, my man, do you know things listen, for the day is we'll spend, and the night's coming on. The cellars are dim, and the Jill stoop is empty. Oh, rise up, my Johnny, and come awa The bairnies at hame, they are roaring and greeting. They meal in the barrel to fill the wee wines, while you sit here drinking, you leave us lamenting. Oh, rise up, my Johnny, and come awa Was that at the door that is speaking so kindly? It's the voice of my wee wifey, Maggie by name. Come in, my dear lassie, and sit down beside me. So rise up, my Johnny, and come awa Oh, Johnny, my man, do you know mind the courtin'? The alehouse or tavern ran alone mines. We spent long days among the sweet scented roses, and Naggy thought upon gone awa times that you speak oh, but these days they are gone and will never come again. But as for the present, we will try for to mend it. So geese your hand, Maggie, and I'll awa him. And he banged the door open, saying, cursed be the tavern that's ever let me in, and cursed be the whiskey that made me thirsty, and fare the wheel whiskey, for I'm awa him.
The band's self-titled first album, released in 1973. That's Boys of the Loch, Farewell to Whiskey. I think that the lyric that sprung to mind for me there was the cellars are deen and the gill stoop is empty.
Mm-hmm.
Dave, what's your angle?
I would like to point out that the reason that sprung to Jack's mind is because he knows that I don't know what it means. So we're getting that out.
Frank and I think we know what it means.
I think it probably means something along the lines of, well, the cellars Deen, I think, is probably the silver. And the gill stoop is empty. It's based on the other subject matter of the song. It's probably the bar stool of some kind. The seat at the bar, the gill stoop.
Is it the Jill stoop or the gill?
Jill, probably Jill stoop.
We really should know this.
We should know this.
Anyway, Dave, do you want to get on with your angle?
Because do you want Frank and I to take over?
Whenever you're ready.
Right, so basically, there's no children.
The song starts off, Johnny.
I'm just going to paraphrase
you've got that
lyrics.
wrong
That's what
there. You've got that wrong there.
Oh, there are children at home.
Yes, well,
sorry.
basically...
This is where's your angle.
Johnny's sitting in the pub and his wife's saying to him, do you not think it's time to leave the pub? You know, it's getting dark. You've been here all day. Come on, we've got to get home. Because the kids are at home and they're crying, you know, they're screaming and howling.
The bairns at the team are a roaring and greeting.
That's the one.
That's the lyric.
With no food, you know, and they're hungry, and you're sitting here drinking. You know, you're in the
No
pub.
meal in the barrel
you don't
to
care
fill their wee whims.
what's going on here.
Oh, that's harsh. You know, he needs to get his life sorted out there.
So he's drinking
so
all he's drinking all the money that should be feeding his kids.
A bit like Angela's Ashes.
Yeah.
If you've ever seen that or read that.
I've never read Angela's Ashes.
It's gritty.
It's gritty. Irish.
Well, there you go.
Carry on, Dave.
And
thanks.
Johnny hears the voice and he says, well, "Who's that? Oh, it's the wife." Oh,
can we just recap for anyone who's lost the plot entirely? Because I imagine there will be
guys in the pub drinking.
Guys in the pub
should
drinking,
be using the money to
home,
feed his bairns.
Wife's talking to him. He says, "Oh, it's the wife." Oh, right. What's she saying?
Good summing up.
He goes, "Oh, right.
It's the pen.
Come in, sit down. You know, there's plenty of room in the alehouse. Come and have a drink." And she says, "You know, no, hold on a second. You know."
So his answer to it is, "I'll get you a drink."
Yeah.
That's the last thing she's going to want to hear.
Brilliant.
Well, she then says, "Do you remember back in the day when we were courting? You know, do you remember the long summer's days and we never thought they'd end, and we thought we'd sit amongst sweet roses all day."
Not before they had the kids, probably.
Before they had the kids, and this kind of, he says, "Yeah, actually, I do remember, but you know, you're right. Those days are past.
Now I'm in the bar.
It's gone.
And it's better here.
Now I'm drinking a double on my Jill stoop."
And I've got to, you know, you're right. I've got to accept the responsibility. I've got to go home and help out with the kids. So you're right. I'm off. And he gets up.
So he changes his mind.
He does. He changes his mind. He mends his ways, and he bangs the door of the pub open, and he says, "Curse the alehouse."
Should be banging it shut.
Into it and curse whiskey, because you know it's got me all drunk and an alcoholic, and I should have been looking after my kids.
And does he just decide one day to just quit drinking, go home, look after the kids, be a family man?
That's
the help of his wife calling to memory of the past,
nostalgia.
but it is in the past and it's got to stay there.
Fairy wheel whiskey for a war home.
Yes.
Poignant.
Fairy wheel.
What's the moral?
The moral is you have
I know
to
what it is,
accept and live up to your responsibilities.
Yeah, that's pretty much...
That's all right.
No comedy can be had there. I would advise all the listeners to do the same thing if they are not doing it already. Always think about the family.
Yeah.
Responsibility.
Yeah.
Dave, that your angle?
Yeah.
Cheers, Dave.
I like the involvement. I like the kind of communal
it's the post-angle breakdown, right?
that we had there.
The angle was funny enough. We're talking about it. It's going to be...
Next week we'll have an additional angle analysis section of the podcast.
Angle
review.
Frank, I believe you've got a nice... the second dose of tune time.
I do have the second dose? I was going to say vose of tune time.
What's gone wrong today?
It is Solas with Boy Girl Tune.
Solas boy girl tune from their album The Hour Before Dawn. Solas are touring Europe for the next couple of months. Just mention this whilst we're here, and won't be playing Scotland until the Perthshire Amber Festival in October. But if you're in Germany or Italy, it might be worth checking the dates on the MySpace, which is myspace.com/Solas MySpace Music. Frank is desperately trying to move a microphone,
without making any noise.
Silence there.
Anyway, it's time for this.
Oh God! Oh Jesus Christ!
Garden Sessions Letters.
That's what it's time for.
Yes, there is controversy afoot
It's
in the
that
letters
time
bag.
again, yeah.
It's a hefty
I
dose of
smell
letters.
debate.
Frank, give us the first. This one has sparked off. Well, this is following Tom's last blog entry.
If you've read Tom's last blog entry, you would.
If you haven't, Tom's Folk Odyssey blog is on the website.
This is what stirred up the problem for a certain Bob Bickerton in Nelson, New Zealand, who writes, "Dear Garden Sessions, Tom makes some good points regarding his observations of lack of songs at the Ceol-Anas, or Ceol-Anas, probably, sessions in his June blog. I couldn't agree more. What a pity he didn't discuss this with some of the organisers or introduce himself so that people were aware of his self-confessed talents. More of a pity he didn't enrol in the guitar class so he could make meaningful contributions to tune sessions rather than cynical public criticism." Oh, well, I think you can see where the fire has been started, listeners.
Yeah.
There's more. I'm more inclined. This is where he packs the punch here. This one's right in the kidney. I'm more inclined to take notice of the many fairly sober musicians who thought Ceol-Anas offered the best tune sessions
Calm down.
Who thought that Ceol-Anas offered the best tune sessions in the Australasia region than
big region.
than a sad, homesick Scot who was too drunk to drive home. And that's from Bob in New Zealand, in Nelson.
Well,
that is outrageous.
Tom is not a drunk.
Yes, that's not the issue. The point is
utterly outrageous.
That's not true.
Yes, no. But it continues. The debate goes on.
Yes, I'll continue with Tom's retort. Unfortunately, we couldn't get Tom to appear on the show at such short notice, but hopefully we'll have him on the
Garden
next one and we
Sessions
can hear
jet
what this is all about.
on the other side of the country.
But just to let him know, we are standing shoulder to shoulder with him on this one.
A united front.
Thank you, Bob, Tom writes, for your well-observed contributions to the feedback forum and comment upon the Odyssey blog. Alas, I did not have the time to introduce myself to the festival organisers or enrol in the guitar workshops, as I only had one night to enjoy the festival. Therefore, my observations were based upon one night, which, based around other festivals I've attended,
I think he's taking the high road here, though, I think.
Yeah. Should provide a sufficient gauge to a festival. I would agree.
Yes,
you can work it out in a day, you know.
You can.
Far from cynical public criticism, my blog was intended to be read as an allegory for a far wider tune songs debate, which extends beyond the confines of the Ceol-Anas. Is that it?
I think
festival. It is a debate which should be welcomed by folkies the world over, so that we may spread our love of traditional music to a wider audience instead of dividing into cliques. P.S. Bob, unlike any disturbingly large number of Kiwis I've met who have fairly lax attitudes towards drink driving laws. Tom, put the wooden spoon down. Stay away from the pan. I tend to only drive when sober and generally would be inclined to use a taxi or get a lift from a sober friend to get home from the pub. That's from Tom. That's a fair point.
It's fair enough. Defend his honour.
Yeah.
He's got to clear that up.
Familiar voice to the letters back.
Yes.
The acoustic lady
lad
reared his head,
saying, "Dear Garden Sessions, concerning Bob's letters, it would seem clear to me that you have never experienced the session of which Tom is talking about, here in Scotland. I love tunes, but the chief problem with a good tune session is that it becomes very musically technical, which then excludes the common man who is not so musical."
The common man.
Yes,
the
like that.
Man.
The session of which Tom speaks
the
is
proletariat.
the one that includes all, regardless of their standard or talent, and gives the opportunity for them to create some folk music instead of just listening to it. If Tom was treated the way he said he was in the blog, then he has every right to give a negative critique of the festival. And that's Acoustic Lady Lad.
Well, interesting points raised here. I think some people have maybe taken this a little bit more personally than they should have.
Tom included.
I think we accept that there are sort of two kinds of there's you can have a tune session. There's a lot I've been to where it can be very cliquey and very difficult to break into, and the sessions where more Not necessarily more songs, but just, they can play tunes in a session, but, the songs must be included, and that opens up the floor to anyone who wants to have a sing.
Yeah. And the other thing is,
and he's saying
some
that
people
there was
just
a lack
can't
of that.
keep up with tunes because they're not, maybe, as Tom says, not so musical acoustically, but says not so musical.
Let's remember here, though, that one of the Bothy Collective is under fire.
This is
in
true.
a foreign land.
That's true.
This is true. We are.
So we want to just remind our listeners that the Garden Sessions is keeping an eye on this, and we're shoulder to shoulder with Tom.
We're with you every inch of the bloody way.
Yeah.
Yes, we are.
That's where we
the
are.
Basics.
That's the letters.
We're the artillery.
No, we're not the artillery.
No.
Situation room.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Situation
room.
Okay.
Tom's like the James Bond, and we're back in.
Anyway, here's the proof that Tom is doing good work in New Zealand. It's the Odyssey.
Tom's Folk Odyssey. He's across the world. It has come. It is finally.
So I'm at a Christchurch Folk Club, and I'm joined by Tim Nash, one half of Babelfish, who have been playing here tonight with Jude Faulkner and Philip Marshall. Tim, congratulations on a great set tonight, and welcome to the Garden Sessions.
Oh, lovely. Yeah, glad to be here.
Give us an idea, if you can, of how Babelfish came about in the first place, and the kind of Celtic influences running throughout your music.
Yeah, well, I met Karen a long while ago when I was playing with a band called Folklore in England. And she depped in to our fiddle player was ill, and she depped in, and she was so good. We thought we'd keep her, but she wouldn't. She went off somewhere else. And I met her ages ago, after that, and we got together. And started Babelfish, and got married as well. Sort of thing.
Bonus,
just passing by. And so we've been playing lots of places. We played in Germany, East Germany, at the Rudolstadt Festival, which was a really big one. That was lovely. It was a nice thing to play. The influences, I've always played in sort of Celtic rock bands. I played in a band called the Kesh in England. They played sort of something about that music just sort of gets people going, gets people sort of moving. And I thought I must play that when I first started. I thought I must do that, but I like to see that energy, and it's got a beautiful energy when it's sort of flowing. I mean, other music has as well, but the Irishy sort of Scottish, influences, they sort of all, they've got that sort of factor.
So what's next for Babelfish, and where can people find out about you guys?
We're on the net, actually. Yeah, we've got a website, and you can see us there. It's under babelfishmusic.org, I think is what it's under. There's some MP3 things you can download, have a listen. So so we're on there, and we're actually on CD Baby as well. Our album's on CD Baby, which is a great place to go and look for music.
All right.
It's a fantastic place to look for music, I think. Yeah, advertising.
Thank you very much for joining us on the Garden Sessions, Tim.
Okay, thanks, Tom.
And enjoy the rest of your night.
Thanks very much. Thank you.
Tom's Folk Odyssey.
He's across the world.
It has come. It is finally.
The bothy is alive with folk.
Vibrant.
Yeah.
Colourful. Ecstatic.
Tom,
there are three words
anything we said about
I'd use to describe our mood
last week, we take back.
And can I just very quickly say that we have another tune, though? This is another one that Tom...
Another tune?
Yeah, it's
no,
more from Tom.
It's a song, but
and we'll tell you
tune.
what it is at the end. Frank is wielding a giant Garden Sessions poster in my face.
I suddenly became I had a great feeling of loyalty just surged over me like a Tasman wave.
That was Emeralds and Greenstone with
just put the studio
Poo Poo
back.
Hero. More information at myspace.com/emeralds and Greenstone.
I actually encountered
these
them.
guys,
I met them, the two girls that are in it, Arjine and Laura, and they were absolutely pounding. Had a wee session in a pub there, and it was a very, very good night.
This is it whilst you're out in New Zealand.
Beautiful whistle playing and Brown as well.
Indeed.
Lovely.
Pounding stuff. I think we've proved the point that Tom is working hard.
He has. He's pulled his socks up.
And we've seen a lot of really
How far up?
quite good stuff.
Up to his knees, Dave. Up to his knees.
Podcast.
It's petered out.
Is it
like a fart in the wind. And we made it.
It's that moment when they realise that the conversation is just lost somewhere.
Yeah.
Anyway, what's on next week's show, Frank?
Oh, it's going to be great. We've got the download chart. Well, I still be at 1. We've got the angle. Dave will be working hard on that. We'll have, hopefully, another healthy letters bag with some more controversial debate about another issue of the folk scene. And
hopefully a feature as well.
Well,
indeed.
That shall be all very, very exciting. Till next time, though, we're going to leave you with Heidi Talbot from her album In Love and Light. And this is Glenn Logie. And we'll see you next time. For myself, Jack Foster, Frank Burkitt, Dave Engels, Gimble. Take it easy.
Take it easy. See you later. Have a good one.
Cheerio.
Have one on me.
There was 24 nobles storing the king's hall, and bonny Glen Logie was the flower of them all. There was 24 nobles rode through Banquet Fair, and bonny Glen Logie was the flower of them there. There was 6 and 6 maidens storing the king's hall. Bonny Jeanie O'Bethany was the flower of them all. Down come Jeanie Garden, she comes up and down the stairs, and she's chosen Glen Logie among all that was there. Glen Logie, oh Glen Logie, if you prove kind, my love is laid on you, and I've told you my mind. But he's turned it down lately, he's the golden stars. Oh, I thank you, Jeanie Gordon, but I'm promised away. She's called to her maidens to make her a bed with ribbons and napkins to tie up her head. But out spoke her father, and the wise man was he, I'll wed you to them own father. That mightn't be if I get me Glenlogie, then for him will I die. But a father's in Chaplin, man of great skill, he's wrote a broad letter and indicted as well. Oh, a pox on you, Logie, now since it is so, there's a lady's love laid on you, will she die in her woe? And the pox on you, Logie, since it is time, there's a lady's love laid on you, will she die in her parade? When Logie got the letter, he'd been among men. It's outspoken Logie, what does young woman mean? When he looked on the letter, light love gave he, but when he read it, a tear blind his eye. Go saddle me the black horse, go saddle me the brown, Barney Jeannie, old Bethany, will be dead ere I win. But the horses were in saddle, led on the green, till Bonnie Glenlogie was 3 miles his lane. She, Glenlogie, he came in, but it's red and rosy grew she, when she learned it was him. Well, as you pay